Okay, so today we have ghost stories that are horrifying right out of the gate. The bad death of a man whose room was engulfed with flames. Well, hello, my spooky friends. How are you doing today? It's good to see you. I know you probably noticed a little bit of a change. Um, you know, I told you last time Scully had a incident at the Labor Day barbecue, and yeah, he didn't come back quite the same. And he also insists on sitting next to me. I'm thinking that one day he's like going to be sitting in the chair. I don't know. But his personality has gone through a little bit of a change too. You'll see. You'll see what I mean. All right, but today we have some great stories submitted by you. This first one is absolutely horrifying. This one was submitted by Joe Flory. When I was working at a nursing home, there was a very ugly, evil man who was dying. The day he died, 4 people were in the room. The rails were shaking, and the room turned reddish and warm. Kind of like a fire, huh? All the aides and nurses couldn't find each other. What? When everything went back to normal, he was face down in the bed when he was face up. Oh, wow. Whoa. The room turns red and warm, and then they couldn't see each other? Like, was there smoke? Or was it just, I don't know. And then he's turned down in the bed. Look, we have done some true stories about people who were very evil in life and had very, very bad ends. They're not my favorite ones, but, I guess it should be. But I still tell them because, you kind of want to put a warning out there. Y'all just be nice. You don't want to end up like this guy, right? Okay, this one is by Morbius, 1963. My wife, who has passed, was working at an old hospital in the 70s, since demolished and rebuilt, in the UK, built for Canadian casualties of the First World War. In the early hours, she was in the kitchen when a vicar popped his head around the doorway, and she greeted him. He moved on. Then she thought, no one is dying, and no one had been called. When she looked out into the ward, no one was there. Footsteps were common. So this vicar was usually called, like, what, to do last rites or something similar to it when someone was passing. But was the vicar just there that day checking? Haven't heard anything. Let me see. Was he a ghost vicar that was doing afterlife things? Or, maybe he was just kind of making a list saying who didn't look so good that day. I don't know. That's a little scary. Definite paranormal. Thank you for sharing that story. Okay, this one is by Liberty Give Me 1987. You may not be aware of this, but I was told years ago that the spirit hangs around for a little while to get used to being in spirit before they are buried. Also, to maybe say goodbye to certain people. To me, that makes perfect sense. And, we've been discussing this for a long time. What are these, visitations that we have? And we see people who are not buried yet, but just pass. And like I've said, some cultures say that they stay around up to 3 days. I don't know. Does it take that long to, get used to how you feel as a spirit? I don't know. Because when some people have a near-death experience, they say they go in a tunnel and they pop out somewhere else. So I don't know the difference, okay? I don't know why some people are having this experience instead, but maybe they just want to be well prepared for the afterlife. In any case, you are so right. A lot of people say that spirits do hang around. I guess if they don't come to say goodbye to you and as a close friend, maybe you could just be a little bit offended. I don't know. Okay, this one was submitted by Rhea Long. Not hospital related, but my mother in law smells cigarette smoke in the house all the time, and no one in the family smokes. The home is big and old, and they moved in it when my husband was 5 years old. He's just turned 60. What is it with all these smoking ghosts? I myself have smelled smoke in different places. Like, it's not the kind of smoke that the building is on fire. It is distinct cigarette smoke. And some of you are comforted by that because you have a close relative that passed that was a smoker. I can't think of anybody that was a smoker unless they pick it up in the afterlife. Like, I guess it's not unhealthy then, right? I don't know. But definitely, it is a phenomenon where you smell cigarette smoke, and it's so real, y'all. Like, you're looking around for where it's at. So I don't know. Did someone else smoke in that house, or did you have a relative that smoked at one time and passed away? It seems like somebody is just puffing away in the afterlife, right? And here is another one submitted by MWAZ36. My friends were at Sachs Bridge in Gettysburg and left a lit cigarette on the handrail. The ghost there is called Tennessee, and they have video of the cigarette being dragged on and it spun around by itself. Wow, if you remember a bunch of videos ago, I told the story of someone who was at Gettysburg at the bridge, and they gave their account of what happened, and you could see the ghost drawing on the cigarette. This one has a video of it being dragged on. So, wow. I would love to see that video, by the way. So there is your official smoking ghost in Gettysburg. I guess they do this in the afterlife. Who knew? This one is by Justine Friend XOX. I hope I said that right. I have seen dark shadow figures that stand about 7 feet tall. I saw one last night standing at the end of my bed. I just began to pray. It stayed for like maybe another 3 minutes and then left. It was 3 a.m. when I saw it. Look, I am not good with shadow figures standing at the end of my bed, okay? In the middle of the night, at any time, really. Okay, let's be honest, at any time. But I will say this 3 a.m. is what they call ghost time. So apparently, as per reports of people who research this stuff, 3 a.m. is the time where the veil is the thinnest between realms, okay? So I'm glad you prayed and that spirit left. Anytime I'm seeing a dark shadow figure, I get the feeling that it's not a good thing. So good for you. But I wonder how many people wake up around 3 a.m. every single night or very frequently. I do a lot. It's like I know when I wake up in the middle of the night, it's going to be around 3, either right before or 3:15, 3:16, something like that. It's going to be at that time. So it makes me wonder, does my spirit in me sense things that are around and lurking? Don't like lurkers. Y'all go on. Let me rest. This one was sent in by Shea Dayan. While I was under anesthesia during emergency C-section, I coded. Oh my goodness. While they were resuscitating me, I floated out of my body and rose up to the clock, looked at my body and the doctors trying to save me, returned to the clock about at the stroke of 10 p.m., heard my daughter cry, immediately returned to my body. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. A lot of people say, oh, there's no afterlife, but these people who actually come out of their bodies and hear conversations and see exactly what was going on while they were coding or they were in the process of potentially dying, like, how are you going to argue with that? Like, they saw and heard, and I've heard stories of some people going into the next room or down the hall and they hear things and see things that they could not have possibly. So I think that definitely proves an afterlife. Something happens when we die. We don't stop there. By the way, I'm glad you're back in your body and that everything is okay. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Oh, wait, there's more to this story. Okay? Whatever my mother saw waiting for her scared her out of her mind. Several times while I was visiting in the hospital right before she died, I saw Quetzal. I think this is Quetzalcoatl hanging on the drapes. Latin American mythology isn't part of our family history, as we are both Northwestern European Jews. Wow. So, yeah, I've heard of Quetzalcoatl. Think that's right. Is it like a dragon? I can't remember, but I have heard of that several times. Very odd though that you're not of Latin American descent, and yet you saw that, hanging out, or she saw that hanging out. So it makes me wonder, like, is there some part of the family you don't know about, or was it attached to the place where she was? Very, very, very spooky, actually. Okay, I'm going to try to get this one. Cielo Perdoma. 3939. Am I close? Am I in the ballpark? My last apartment had a cat ghost. I was sitting in the bathroom with the door open, no one around to see me, so why not? Exactly. And I saw a solid gray cat walk by. Nothing fearful. It was nice to see it, and I felt safe, but still, a ghost cat. Well, y'all know how I feel about ghost cats, and definitely, why is it that regular cats want to come to the bathroom with you? Like, they just want to sit there and look at you. I'm like, excuse me, this is supposed to be, semi private time. I mean, like, look, I don't let anybody in the bathroom with me. And, when the cat runs in, like, look, it's just weird. That's what it is, weird. Why do they want to look at you like that? So the fact that that is the situation in which you found yourself, yeah, of course the ghost cat is going to show up. But I am all for ghost cats, so I guess you just have a little company while you're on your throne. This one is by Peg's 1659. My oldest daughter's mother-in-law had heart surgery, and while she was in recovery, she was very nervous and had general bad feelings. An older black man came in and talked to her for about 15 minutes until she calmed down and felt safe. She said he was very sweet and made her feel calm right away. Later, when she asked another nurse about him, she was informed that there was no man, black or otherwise, who was working in recovery. She truly believed he was an angel. P.S. Oh, Sylvester had leukemia. That's right. Okay, let me start with the first part. Yeah, that definitely sounds like an angel, probably. I mean, some people might say it was the ghost of someone who used to work there. I don't know. It could very well have been an angel since she felt so much comfort. And that is a beautiful story. Now, the part about Sylvester, if you'll remember a bunch of videos ago, Peg put in a story about a ghost cat, one of her younger cats, only 2 years old or something like that, that passed away. And a lot of you were asking, hey, why did the cat pass away? Blah, blah, blah. All right, he had leukemia, and literally there is nothing you can do about that. I unfortunately had a cat with feline leukemia, and it is extremely sad, and you just hope they go in peace. So, but for those of you that wondered, that is the situation. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. Or maybe not. See, there was something I didn't tell you about Scully. He has had some changes in temperament, in personality. He wants one more story. Okay. Here we go. I hope this is a temporary thing. All right, here is one submitted by Craig Dixon. 4113. As a young man, I was hospitalized at Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center in Denver, Colorado. I was in the military then, and it was an old hospital first built around 1917. It expanded through the years until closing in 1993. I was in 2 East, a mix of active duty and retired GIs, as they still called themselves. This was in January 1986. The nurses still wore white, the Army uniform. Yeah, not anymore. As I slowly recovered, I was ambulatory. And for exercise, I would walk the hospital. I knew the place was haunted, but always felt protected. I never felt as if I wouldn't pass. I just somehow knew everything would be okay. Intuitively, I knew the place was haunted, but it didn't seem to bother me. In the military at that time, you didn't talk about that kind of stuff. I would have been afraid of getting kicked out of the service for being mentally unfit. I can understand that. But there was this room that I passed. The door was open, but it wasn't being used at the moment. Walking by it, I heard a sound of 1940s music coming from the room. I turned my head and looked in the room, and nothing was in there. The lights were out, an empty room with chairs and desks, and it was a classroom. As soon as I looked in the room, the music stopped. The sounds sounded as if it was a live band, not a radio nor recording, but being played softly, but enough to hear. I turned my head, was continued down the hall, back into present day. Oh, wait a second. So let me go back. So you heard the 1940s room, but the music, but then you went into the room and there was nothing in there. Rooms, chairs, desks. It was a classroom. Okay, I get it now. Sorry. It was not a hospital room or a hospital anymore. It was a classroom. And then as you walked back down the hall, it was present day. Wow, this was about 1400 in the afternoon. For y'all that don't know, that is around 2 p.m. Okay, I knew I had heard it, but couldn't tell anyone. Years later, I was comfortable with the memory. I suppose for a brief moment I could touch the past. Maybe they could see me too, and will. Okay, so that sounds like a glitch in the Matrix story. Is that what you wanted to hear, Scully? I don't know. I don't know. That whole thing was weird, But a glitch in the Matrix story, for those who don't know, it's like when something strange happens that cannot be explained, and it's not what you would call paranormal, as in ghosts and stuff, but like going back in time, losing time to be somewhere else. There's a whole lot of stuff that are considered glitch in the Matrix stories. I have one myself, and if you have a glitch in the Matrix story, please submit it as well. Just tell me that's what it is, either by email at avelincottage@gmail.com, or you can put it in the comments. Wow, I am definitely stopping for today. I don't know what's going on. Scully is definitely in a mood. Yeah, it's a new thing. But anyway, maybe things will settle down soon. I sure hope he gets back to normal soon. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your day, night, weekend, whatever, and we will see you again soon. Please give a thumbs up for Scully so maybe he'll stop it. I don't know. Anyway, whatever you do, just stay spooky. Bye-bye.